Hey guys, Lisa Callaghy here to share with you a video on how you can run a pre-post gains export for your LGL assessments, DORA, DOMA, pre-algebra, Adam K7 assessments um, for your entire school. So this is a report that admins would run, and it is an export to a Excel file so you can then manipulate a lot of your data. So I'm just going to show you how to access that report and then how to read that report once it's downloaded. All right, let's get started. Here we are on a school's admin page. I'm on Union Hill. And from here, you want to, at the top, choose the reporting tab and then come down to data portal. It's going to open up a new window for you, and it's going to bring you into the data portal section of LGL. So from here at the top menu tabs, you want to choose exports. And then from this drop down menu, you want to choose pre and post gains export. Okay, so depending on what assessment you want to choose or that you want to see the results for, you just need to click on the button next to it. I'm going to choose DORA. And then I need to give it a start and end date for the data that I want it to pull. So because it's a pre and post, I need to include dates that are within the scope of my first and second assessment of my students for this particular assessment. So I'm going to start, I always choose September 1. I feel like it's safe. I don't know when the schools started assessing. So I know that they couldn't have assessed prior to September 1. So September 1 of 2020. And now I'm going to click on the calendar for the end date being, I'll choose yesterday. And then I can keep everything else here with the grade start and end, starting at kindergarten, ending at 12 plus, leave that alone. I could choose my file type here. I'd like to choose an Excel file. And then I come down and click on continue. It's asking me what site location. Obviously, I'm on Union Hill's admin account. So checking off Union Hill and then click on download. So now that's going to actually download to my computer. So once that's completed, I'm going to navigate to that file, depending on how you have your computer set up for downloads. Find that file that you've downloaded. I always get an alert. Excel is asking me if I trust this source. I do, so I'm going to click on yes. And now Excel is going to open that file for me. Okay, so this looks like a lot of information, and it really is, but it's not so overwhelming. Let me just kind of view this in a little bit more of a kind of a view that you'll be able to see the titles of each column so you understand what they mean. So I just kind of focused in on the titles of the columns so you understand how this all works. And then you could use your sorting knowledge on how you'd like to sort your information here to get the most out of this report. All right, so starting at column A, this is just, your site ID in LGL doesn't really matter. It's your school name, the LGL ID number for each one of your students, their sourced ID number, their login, and their first last name. Okay, so this is all self-explanatory. Their grade, test 1 and test 2 dates, so you could see when the testing took place. And now we get into starting with column L. Now we start getting into information that you might not understand what it means. So HFG is high frequency. That is the subtest for the DORA high frequency words. But the G stands for gain. Okay. So this talks about the gain that the student had for high frequency words between the both assessments that they took, test one and test two. Word recognition gain is the next column, phonemic awareness. So the G stands for gain. So you're looking for their gains here in this column. So there was no gain between the first and second test for this student in high frequency words and word recognition. Now, what that probably means is because this is an eighth grade, this student probably there was no room for gain. They were able to have the highest score in both the first and second assessment. That's why there was no gain. Okay. So coming over vocabulary, you'll see that there is a negative number. So that means that their test score for vocabulary between the first and second assessment was it changed and it went down. So the first assessment score was higher than the second assessment score, and that is the negative gain. Okay, so the negative number is going to show you that there was I guess you want to say there wasn't a gain between the first and second assessment in terms of scoring. Same with spelling, same with comprehension. Um, okay, so this is what these columns represent. So it's all the subtests for Dora and then their subsequent gain or their lack of gain. Okay. For each individual student. Now coming over to column T, now we see HF again, which is high frequency words, but the number one, this is the score for the student for the high frequency words subtest for the first assessment. Okay, and then it goes to the word recognition for the first assessment. And now you'll see phonemic awareness for the first assessment. And you'll see their scores for the first assessment. And then you'll see their score for their second assessment. So column AB is high frequency words for the second assessment. So now let's look and compare between high frequency words for second assessment and high frequency words for first assessment. You see that the score is the same between the two. That's why the gain score for high frequency words was 0. So let's check out what's going on here with vocabulary. So the gain was a negative number. So let's look at the score for vocabulary for the first assessment is a 7.5, which is seventh grade mid-year. And let's look at their vocabulary score for the second assessment, and that is sixth grade mid-year. So they went down grade level. So that is why you see the -1, which is a whole grade level, okay, oops, that's the wrong one, vocabulary, and whole grade level here in vocabulary for that student. All right. So that is how you read this report. And that's how you can see the grades and the gains or the not gains. I don't know how to explain that. The regressions that the students had for each subtest in Dora. Now, this is the same for Adam or pre-algebra, any of the other assessments, except the titles of each column is different to represent the subtests of that particular subject area. So for Adam, you're going to see the subtest here, and then you'll see the G for gain for whatever subtests there are, numbers, and I think it's numbers and operations, and then you'll see data analysis or measurement. So you'll see the gains for those subtests, and then the scores for the first test, and then the scores for the second test. So the columns, the ones, the twos in each column header mean the same thing. The 2 stands for the second assessment, the 1 stands for the first assessment, and the G stands for the gains for each particular strand, depending on the test that you are looking to see the gains for. All right, I hope this helped. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I will certainly try to help you as best as I can. All right, guys, have a great day.